Hi everyone. Is anyone with me? Gonna just check if anybody's there and that you can all hear me okay. Hello. Just gonna check in the group. Hi Joy, can you hear me okay? Hi Mariana. Can you hear me? Just if you can just tell me, I think there's a little bit of a delay. If you can just let me know that you can hear me okay, and then I'll get started. Fabulous, loud and clear, that's fabulous, lovely. Okay, let's get started then. Marianne, you hear me unfortunately. Is that what you mean to say? Anyway, so thank you all for joining me. Just let me I'll just wait for a couple more people to arrive maybe, if anyone else is coming along. And I'm just gonna just get started. Oh gosh, what a rush. I don't know why, it just seems to take me forever to actually get these lives sorted out. Of course not. Yeah, right. So anyone that's watching this, Joy and Mariana, they're actually on the Polkadoodles design team. So hi ladies, it's lovely to see you. Okay, so all right, I'm going to start and anyone else can kind of catch up. So today we're going to do a little craft along. Yay! Hi Pauline and Elaine. Hi, I'm not going to go through and say hello to everyone. It gets boring, doesn't it? But thank you for joining me, everybody that's kind of like tuning in. It's 4 o'clock on Thursday. Oh my gosh, this time next week it's Christmas Eve. How frightening is that? I just don't know where the time's gone. It just seems to have been December. Does everyone agree that December has just absolutely flown? It's like it's just not even existed. It's like it's the beginning of December and then all of a sudden it's Christmas. And I think it's like that every year. I think we think, oh yeah, we've got another 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden it's here. Waves. Hi everyone. First of all, I've got to really apologise about my nails today. My goodness, it's like the last thing that I've even looked at, and I was like, oh my god, they're all like, well, they've all split and everything, and I just never even thought about it. So anyway, you're not here to look at my nails, are you? So, what are we doing? So, firstly, I have a lovely crafty giveaway to sort out with you, but we're going to do that at the end. I don't want to give away too much. Well, I do want to give away too much, but we'll sort all that out at the end. Otherwise I'll get all excited and giddy, and you know what I'm like when that happens. So we've got a giveaway right at the end, so make sure, even if you don't want to watch the video, tune in at the end anyway and just replay the last few minutes and I'll tell you what you've got to do. But first I'm going to actually make a card with our newest collection, which is Frosty Smiles, which is our download collection. So if you've kind of been hiding under a rock in the group, you may well have not seen this, but basically this is our latest download release, and I just love it. I know a lot of the girls do as well. This is actually our first ever full snowman release or snow people release, and I don't know why that is, because I love snowmen. I can't believe I've not done snowmen before. So anyway, it's long overdue, 11 years overdue. And these little dudes and dudettes are so adorably cute. I think they're really lovely. And the reason I actually created this collection is that I always want to bring you the most versatility to the products that we have as I can. And that actually means, kind of like at Christmas time, it's great because we have all these Christmas collections. But then once Christmas is done, it's kind of like that's it. But every year, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but every year, certainly for the last 4 or 5 years, I've always tried to design an extra collection kind of at the end, not the end of the season, but around this time, so that kind of beyond Christmas, you actually have something new to play with. Because I think as a crafter, if you're like me, and I think we're all the same, we all just want everything, don't we? And I think we've all been so busy up to now kind of creating Christmas cards. I mean, I haven't even started yet. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but every year I get to this time and I still haven't made any cards. So this one today is going to somebody. It's not unheard of for me to actually have to buy cards. In fact, it's probably more often than not because we just don't get time. So I always want to bring you a collection that you can use for Christmas, but you can actually use it beyond Christmas as well. And so for that reason, there's no holly in here. There's no kind of real reference to Christmas at all. So that all of the images will take you through into those winter birthdays and celebrations. And maybe it's something that I really am conscious of because my sister has a birthday on the 27th of December. Chloe here in the office, her birthday is on the 28th. I'm in January. My mum's the first week of February. My auntie's at the same day as mine. And it just always seems that we have a lot of birthdays in January and February. And, it's I just kind of think it's nice to carry on that kind of wintry theme. If you had a birthday in summer, you'd have flowers all over it and everything else. And so, kind of carry that nice wintry, frosty theme through into those birthdays and, even anniversaries maybe into sort of February and stuff. Like it snows all the way through to March sometimes and beyond. So anyway, that's kind of why I do it. So all of the images are kind of like gift related and just friendship related as well, which I think is really nice. And the other thing as well is there's kind of like a bit of like this collection has things in it that are where they're like doubled up. So you've got like two friends having a hug. Could be a couple, or it could be like a husband and wife or partners, whatever. Or it could just be friends having a hug. And I kind of thought this Christmas, because we've not seen anyone all year, I've not seen my mum and dad all year. I think the last time I saw them was in January. And I'm not going to be able to see them this Christmas either. And, so I just kind of thought it'd be nice to have like a bit of a huggy thing going on. So it's one of those things that you could just maybe do like send a hug card. And the other great thing about the snow people is that they're super easy to colour. So if you're not if you're not great at colouring, or you just don't have time, because let's face it, it's a week before Christmas, and if you do want to make Christmas cards with them, we don't have all the time in the world to be colouring right now, maybe. So the fact that, they are white, you could actually get away with not colouring them if you wanted to. But anyway, we're going to colour them today, and hopefully you're going to like what I've done. It's been ages since I've really made a card kind of from scratch. But I have to say that before I get started, I just have to say hello to Helen Wiles, who we call Nelly. So her nickname is Nelly, and she's actually on the design team. She's not very well at the minute, and I know she's going to try and tune in. I don't want to say too much because she wouldn't want me to say, but I hope you really get well soon, Helen. We all miss you, you crazy woman. But also the card that I'm making today, it was actually inspired by a card she made for me last year, I think it was. And so last year she actually made this. And I love this card. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually got, can you see how she's actually cut away like a half circle here? And this is actually using the one of the stamp sets from last year. So it's last year's with the little reindeer face on, which is one of my favourites from last year. And I know it's one of yours as well. It's been so popular. and then she's stenciled over here. But I just really love this little cutout. I love kind of doing little cute things like that you maybe wouldn't think of, but that are really, really easy to do. So thanks for the inspiration, Nelly. I found this earlier because I never put it away. I just love it. It's always hanging around the office somewhere. And you know, sometimes you just find those cards and you just like, I absolutely adore it. And so I saw this today and I thought, oh, I know what I can do with, and it's come from there. So thanks, Helen, for the inspiration. And thanks everyone that's joining us. We've got Lou Sims in the house. Hi, Lou Bags. And Shyla's here. Shyla. Who else is here? That's it for now, I think. Right, okay. So let me head to the overhead camera. And remember, just before I forget, because you know what, Mike, I'm going to forget. So remember, this is a download collection. So if you've not seen downloads before, you don't, because literally I get emails and messages on Facebook every day saying I don't understand what downloads do. So I'm gonna try and take you through that without getting really in depth with it. But this is from a download collection, and also the other thing is, well, you'll see anyway as I go. So right, let's get on with it. And too much waffling, Nikki. And I'll give you the code and all of that, and I'll give you all the links to everything that I've used at the end of this, so that if you need anything, if you see anything that I'm using and you think, oh, I need that, then I'll leave you all the links at the end of it. And don't forget, there's a giveaway at the end of this video, so make sure you go right to the end. Okay, let's get on with it then. So we're going to make this cute little number. So like I said, where's that card gone? There you go. So look, this was Helen's, and then this is my little version of it. And I don't normally show you what I'm going to make, but just in case it all goes horribly wrong, I kind of thought I loved this cutout and how she'd kind of done this. And then here, I'm going to actually show you through the collection before we kind of make a start. But this is actually a double digi. So this is a couple, and we're going to kind of like split it down a bit to do something different. So just before I get started, just so that I can show you what we're actually using and what's in the kit. So this kit is kind of I call it a mini kit only in terms of the fact that we used to actually do lots of papers and embellishments and give you hundreds and hundreds of images. And I kind of wondered one day whether or not you were all actually using them or not. So, and nobody's actually asked me to do it. So since I stopped doing them, and I think it's very much all about the images. So this kit has 10 lovely images. You've got 10 black and white, 10 coloured. So these are pre-coloured by me, and this is exactly how it's going to print. Now, one question I always get asked about is, what paper do you use? And people have been asking me this, and I've been giving you the same answer for 11 years. This is our ultimate graphic paper. And can you see how, hopefully you can see how crisp the images are, and how, in fact, it's actually showing on the camera a little bit darker than it is in real life. I do not print this on best quality paper. This, I have to confess, this has been printed onto on a LaserJet. But this is just the standard Ultimate Graphic that you will order in store. It's 160 gram. Not sure. I'm sorry. I am useless on the pound to gram weight. Maybe someone in the group can just Google that for me. Excuse me. But it's perfect, and it's so white. It's a really nice white smooth paper, and this paper was actually developed for graphics. So if you're printing graphics, I guarantee, and that's a strong word because I would not put my neck on the line there for that, but I guarantee that you won't be able to print your graphics better than you can on this paper. It also has a construction that means that you don't need to, unless you've got really, really rubbish inks and a really, really rubbish printer, and I mean like the absolute pits, you will not need to print on best quality. And printing on best quality should really be reserved for photos. So you shouldn't need to print on best quality because you absolutely waste your ink. This is just normal quality. I actually could get away with printing on a lighter quality. And when I actually use this on my inkjet printer, I've got a little Canon Pixma that I use at home. And when I print on that, I actually print it a little bit lighter. So I've got this little dude look with his little ice cream. How cute. And then this is actually, I think this might be my favourite. I don't know. I've got a couple of favourites. But I just love this one. Look, they're just having a little hug. And I kind of purposely made the birds not part of the image. So if you don't want it to be a love thing, then you can leave the birds out. You could cut those away. So you've then just got two friends hugging if you wanted to. And these are quite gender neutral, some of these images. So for instance, this one, if you wanted to, you could actually print another one and cut the hat out, and then actually put the hat on here as well, and it could actually be two female friends having a hug. Oh, thanks, Lou. Lou says 160 GSM is just under £60. That sounds right. I think actually that's about right. Hi, Louisa McLean too. Hola, hola. So really versatile. I've kind of done that on purpose. So there's kind of no dresses. They're all kind of quite gender neutral. So you can probably adapt them. Now, I love him or her. I've kind of coloured him in blue there, so it's a him. But if we coloured her in pink, it could be a her too. So super cute. I just love that one. And then this is what I was saying about how, you know, you've kind of got little groups and, you know, got a group of friends here. And again, although they're giving gifts, doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas. It could just be, you know, this little dude could be having a birthday party, you know, or whatever. It could just be saying hello and everything else, but really, really sweet. I just love the little eyes where they've got like it's got little eyes closed. Look, how cute's that? And then here's another one, which is another super cutie. So again, friends skiing, and we've got little Bella Bear there. Bella Bear's been hugely popular. You guys all love her so much. So I just wanted to bring that in as well and just have like something. She's kind of a snow bear. So look, she's made into a snow bear. So you could colour her as a little snow bear if you wanted, or you could do it brown. It's up to you. However you want to do it, it's entirely up to you. And then I love this one. This is one of my favourites. So I think this is New Friends, this one. But I just love this little bird here. She's so cute. Like little eyelashes on and her little flower. And I just think this is adorable. Just super, super cute. These are so easy to colour, everyone. They really are very, very easy. I know I've printed these pretty huge, but even small. And this is another one of, it's hard, it's really hard to actually, Elaine says they're all equally gorgeous. Very hard to choose a favourite. I agree, actually, because this is another one that I really love as well. And again, you see like little hearts going through into Valentine's, or it could just be that I'm giving you a heart, a hug, or sending love, you know. And again, you know, you could cut the hat off one of the others and put a hat on. Look, that hat is gonna fit that, no problem. It'll fit, I guarantee. They were kind of designed that way. So, you know, I wanted some that didn't have hats on, so it was just a little bit different. And then this one is, it looks at a little bit different, so it's got a completely different hat. But again, you could cut this hat out and you could put it on the others as well. So again, those hats mix and match. So although I haven't given them you separately, you know, you can easily cut those out. This one's really cute. I love his little scarf on this one. It's really sweet. He's sitting on a little bench there. So he could be in the park. That'd be really nice to do some nice icy branches and stuff like that, wouldn't it? And then this one, I think this has to actually be my ultimate favourite, but it is really difficult. And this is the one that we're going to actually use in the project. So, again, a little couple here. And, you know, we've got one here with little earmuffs on. So cute. And they're just really happy. These are so cheerful. I just adore these images. I really do. They're really lovely. So let's get to what we're doing, shall we? So let me get this out of the way. and tidy up a little. I'm already in a bit of a mess. So the first thing we're going to need is, I'm actually working on an A6 card or a 4x6 inch card. And I know in the UK we've been using big cards for quite a long time now, but some time ago I kind of like decided that I actually prefer this size, and it's partly easier because you don't have such a big space to fill. Sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. So the first thing that we're actually going to do, I've actually got some of our circle dies here, and I'm going to use one of the dies, and it's actually the smallest one. You get 4 in this set, but basically I'm going to use the smallest die, and I'm going to actually cut out an aperture here. Now what I'm going to do is, this is the digistamp that I actually printed out, and I had to make the card earlier to actually check that it all sized properly and everything. So what I do when I print, I decide on the size that I want. Hi everyone that's joining. So I decide on the size that I want, and then I kind of print several on a sheet. And you can do this really easy if you're using a computer. Of course you're using a computer. If you're using a PC, you can do this within the Windows Photo Manager. When you actually go to print, it gives you the option to print 4 to a sheet if you want. So you don't have to mess around with any of your graphics or anything like that in a graphics program. I actually use a Mac, so I have to do it within the graphics program. Well, actually you don't. It does still come up in the print settings, and it's actually under layout, and you can actually set how many you want to print on a page. You can actually set it if you select 4 of the images and then go to print on both programs, by the way. You can actually get it to print 1 of each on the sheet as well, and you can mess about with all your print settings that way. We have on the website, if anybody ever needs help, on the website there is, if you go to the help section, there is a whole section full of download help. There is so much information in there, and there are full step-by-step videos. So if you've, like I said before, if you've not actually downloaded anything before and you don't quite understand it, go and watch the videos, because they are absolutely step-by-step. There are also videos there that show you how to use Word to manipulate your images. So if you want to resize them easily, I show you how to do it in Word. And the reason I do it in Word is because virtually everybody's got Word on their computer. It just makes it easy, and you don't have to pay for a graphics program or anything like that. Now, what I'm going to do is, I think what I'll do first of all, I'm going to cut this. So I'm going to just, I think what we'll do, that's dirty, that, let me get another bit. Come on, Ursula. Ursula to the rescue. This is Ursula, and she is my die cut tape machine. She goes everywhere with me. She's got a little bit of unicorn poo on the side there, I think. Isn't she cute? I've had her for quite a long time now. Do you know, I'd genuinely be devastated if I broke this. I'd have to buy another one immediately. She actually, just using Ursula in my die cut machine makes my day more enjoyable. Is that a little bit weird? I don't really care if it's a little bit weird. So anyway, I'm going to cut my die that way up. So I'm using the Gemini here, as you can hear. And do you know what I decided to get the other day? Because this is a big old desk that I'm sitting on here, and this is the first time I've used it, and it's worked. It's amazing. I decided to put my Gemini on a Lazy Susan, and then I don't have to, you know, like that really annoying thing where you have to lean right over, or you have to stand up to hold the plates as they come out of the back of the machine so they don't fall on the floor or whatever. I've literally, that's the first time I've done it, and it's actually worked. I'd forgotten about that. That's amazing. I'm well pleased. So I got a Lazy Susan off Amazon, which wasn't expensive, and I've just literally put my machine on it, and I can actually twist my machine round, so then I didn't have to stand up. I could just like turn it round and hold the plates as they came out the back. Genius idea. Try it. You'll love that idea, because it's one of those little things that I find very annoying. You might not, but I do. Okay, so let's get this off there. So this is a very simple card, really, but I just liked it. I'm kind of I'm very much on a cute mission at the minute. I really am loving the cute side of things. So I'm going to take my Digi, and what I really want to happen is I kind of want him to, they overlap a bit here where his mitten is, so I kind of need this to overlap as well, and I want it to catch the flats. So I'm going to just cut through here. Let me see, where am I going to go? I'm going to go to there. I think I might have made a mistake there. So anyway, so it doesn't matter because I've got 4. So I want to go to that point there, and I'm just laying that in there. So I need to decide where I'm going to put her. Now, I have to say, yeah, kind of, okay, on the first one that I did, on my practice run, I actually decided that I wanted her a bit further over. So I'm just going to cut this one back again, just cut him off. And it'll become obvious why I actually wanted to do that. So I'm just going to position where I want her to be. So you need to, if you struggle with lining up, just put a piece of card down or something. So I kind of want her full and centre in there, and that's where I'm going to put her. So I'm going to grab that die again now. I'm saying her, it might not be her. Okay, and I'm sitting the die in that aperture. Okay, so now I can decide where I want that to be. And I also want her like she's jumping for joy there, like that. So you can position it in place exactly where you want it to be. Okay, now I'm not cutting the card this time. Hang on. There we go. So there, I'm not cutting the card. I nearly did that wrong then. So I'm going to slide that out of there, and then that's now in the right place, hopefully. So I'm going to put this down, and as it goes through my machine, I'm twizzling it around and I'm pulling out the plates at the back without actually moving, or that might be a disaster there though. Just need to make a little bit more room. Yay. Oh, that's such a good idea. Wow. I'm going to patent that. Okay. So, wow, that's got... Okay. Why is that stuck in my board? There you go. That's weird. It's as if it's got embedded in the plate there. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay. So, let me just move my dies out of the way because I ain't going to need those. Well, I will need them again shortly, but not for a while. Okay, so we have this one, and then we can actually sit her in there where we want her to be. And you can, again, you can sort of position her in there. Now, I'm going to grab a little bit of glue, and I'm going to just, because this is going to overlap and we're going to cut that away. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on here. I think I've forgotten my other glue, which is a bit stupid of me. It's very cold in here, so this might not come out, this glue. Yeah, that was going to happen. Come on. There's always something that goes wrong for me. I wish oh, there it is, it's coming out. Wish I was one of those crafters that was like, you know, perfect. I don't know why. I'm going to leave that stood up. Put the thing on and leave that stood up. It's not been used for a while. Okay, so I'm going to just position her in there, like I say, kind of on a bit of a jaunty angle. And then she's going to stick down. And then we can actually go to the back and actually just trim that off. Okay. Oh, I've got a bit of a thing in there, but never mind. Now, before I go any further, I want to just do a bit of decoration on the back here. So we're going to get our stencil. And I'm going to use 2 stencils today. So I'm going to use our lovely Land and Sea, which I just love. And I'm going to use Distress ink, but I'm going to use tumbled glass today. So I wanted something that was very, very light. And if I just show you, can you see how light that colour is? It's not a colour I use very often actually, but it's really lovely and I've actually fallen in love with it a bit lately. Now, this stencil is fantastic for both kind of sea projects, ocean projects, but also for snow projects. And when you actually look at the stencil itself, you'll see that there's sort of undulations in it, and I kind of designed it with those in mind. Like here, there's a really big one there, and if I actually turn that round, look, that kind of creates a hill. And so then this is kind of like, if you did this in green, it then starts to look like it's fields and stuff. Or it could just be kind of waves or whatever you want it to be. Now I'm going to kind of use that as the hills. So I'm just going to grab some ink, and I'm not going to put a lot on here. And I've just put some paper towel there just to stop it from bleeding through underneath. And you see how we've got like now sort of snowy hills, and then I just want to put some down here, just a little bit down here. I'm not going to add any more ink on here because there's actually enough ink on already. You don't think there is because it doesn't look like you're doing anything, but there absolutely is. So look, see what I mean? It's just like really nice and pale. And then I'm going to grab, this is my favourite, the Snowball Stencil. So with this one, I'm going to just add a little bit more ink, but again, just very, very light. And I'm just going to dust that over there. Just maybe a little bit more. Put a little bit more just at the top. I don't want a really heavy background going on. I just kind of want it to have a hint of. Look at that. Oh, it's lovely. And what we could do is just maybe have a few more here, just so it looks like it's coming down over the landscape. That's really pretty. I'm not going to do any more to that. I'll end up ruining it. It's very easy to kind of keep going, isn't it? So she now looks like, you know what else? Do you know what else this would look really cute as? And I wish actually I'd done that now. Is if you actually created a little shaker here, and you know, like if you can get those domes, how cute would it be? Because she'd look like she was in a little snowball dome, like rolling down a hill. So how cute. Do you know what that would be? You know how you go off on a tangent? That would be really cute if you printed this much smaller. So if you had a little tiny one, which is sort of the size of her head like that, and then you had some really small circle dies. I don't have a really small one that size, but some of you guys might. You could actually put her face in, or put the whole of her in, and actually have her rolling, you know, like on a penny slider, you could have her rolling down the hill, and she'd look like she was inside a little snowball. And if you put glossy accents on it and stuff, oh my gosh, I can imagine it, I can visualise it. That would look amazing. That would be so pretty. Okay, so there she is anyway. So, obviously we've got this little dude back here. We need a name for him. Someone come up for a name. I mean, obviously he's called Frosty, really, but you know, we can give him a different name. You're not allowed to say Fred. Well, you could say Fred. My granddad was called Fred Frost, so there you go. Anyway, so sorry, going off on a tangent. So obviously we've cut through his mitten here, which isn't ideal. So this is why I printed 4 images onto a sheet, because I need the whole image, and we're kind of going to decoupage. But before we do that, I'm going to actually colour. Okay, so we're going to colour first to make it easier. Now I am going to use today my Karen markers. I was going to use my Daniel Smith. I'll be quite honest, the reason I haven't, I started to use them. Let me just cut that away. This is gone. Just in case it goes horribly wrong and I need another image. Yeah, I was going to use my Daniel Smith, and I did start with those, but because they're so super strong pigmented, I mean the little dot cards that we used the other day, because they're so strong, I felt like I had a bit more control with the Karen markers, so I'm going to use those. And also it meant that I could get in with some like really nice details. So if you've not seen the Karen markers, this is they. So these are Karen brush markers, and these are actually watercolour based brush marker. You'll see as I'm using them. We've just had a giveaway. I'm still waiting for the person to claim the prize. So if you're watching this video and you entered and you haven't checked out if you won, you need to check in the group, because we have actually announced the winner and we're still waiting for someone to actually claim that. It could be you. So I'm going to use, let me turn this over so I can see what I'm doing. I don't like colouring on a dirty piece of paper. I like to actually be able to see what I'm doing. This whole block here, this colour is how much I actually used to colour this whole couple in. So let's get started. Let me grab some colour. So I'm going to go first of all with this nice turquoisey colour. That is loads. I really do not need that much. But anyway, okay, carried away. So my one tip is you can use whatever brush you want here, but I am using this mega fine, really ultra fine tip brush. It was only cheap. It was in a big set of about 20 from the shop that shall not be named that begins with A. But the only thing is I'm going to have to buy some more, because after the last video, I actually left it in the water and didn't take it out. Can you see how it's bent? And it's actually been affecting my colouring a bit. So, you know, make sure you take your brushes. I am the world's worst at leaving my brushes in the water. And it does make them bend, and it's really hard to actually get them unbent again. Now, this is not watercolour paper. So remember, this is our ultimate graphic, which is really for printing. But it's such a great paper that it really works well for watercolouring. Obviously, not for a watercolour masterpiece. But on this occasion, for what we're doing here, this is what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to use this tiny little brush, and you know, my advice with your Karen markers is, I mean, it's entirely up to you. It's not my place to tell you how to do something. But my advice would be, if you want a softer look and a bit more control, then don't colour directly onto the paper if you want a watercolour. If you don't want a watercolour effect, then that's fine. But if you do, then, you know, you kind of need to put your colours out and make a palette like I have here, and then blend it onto the paper. So I'm just adding a bit of water here, and I'm just going to blend these out, and it's just going to give us a really nice soft finish, and it's going to enable us to do, you know, because you really just need a hint of colour. You don't really need a very strong amount of colour at all. It's just a hint, because you want that hint of blue for the snow. So I'm just drying my brush off each time so that I don't get too much water. And then I'm just going to blend that out. So remember, I'm not using an inkjet here, I am actually using a laser printer. But even with an inkjet, you should be able to do this technique if you don't oversaturate the paper, regardless of what paper you're using. So if you've printed on your inkjet printer, give it a whirl. And if you find, like here, where you've kind of put a little bit too much on, then just get a bit of tissue and just dab that off, and it dries it, but also it kind of knocks it back so we've not got too much colour on. Now what I like to do here is I like to have a different colour as well, so I like to have two blues. So I'm going to just grab, so this one is sapphire blue and the other one was turquoise. So again, I'll put way too much on there, but it'll be fine. Just grab a little bit. You can see how little you actually use. These are so concentrated, these colour markers, they're fantastic. Now this was already wet, so it's going to blend really easily. And this is how, having the darker blue, then we can actually shade and just blend that out a little bit. And if you want to, just add a little bit more water if you want to. Okay, so they just blend beautifully on this paper, it's great. You see how that changes and kind of just gives us that bit of depth. Now I am going a little bit outside the lines there, but never mind. A little bit more there. And I'm kind of just moving my brush around really, and then we'll just use that dark blue just under there, just to add a little bit of shadow there. And then one last thing I'm just going to do is, yeah, it's done already. So I'm going to actually just add tiny little bit. Let me just zoom that in a little bit for you so you might be able to see a little bit closer up. I'm quite a long way away there, just bear with me 1 second. Just zoom in a bit more. If I can push that up a bit for you. I think it's gone a little bit out of focus now, but you might be able to see a bit better. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blue there, and underneath the top of his mouth there, just into the crease there, I'm just going to add a little tiny bit there. And then I'm just going to clean my brush and just get rid of the excess. And then just, again, blend that out. And can you see how I'm doing that in the direction of the mouth? I think it's a bit blurred on the camera. My internet speed isn't the best here, so apologies if it's a bit blurry. It's not as clear as it should be. I think it's actually a little better if I zoom out, but anyway, I'm not bothering with her because we're going to colour her on the main card. So I'm going to grab my orange. Is it orange? Probably must be orange. Amber. And this is where I'm going to actually go direct in on the paper because we want him to have really nice bright orange nose. And what we could do is, if you want a little bit of a shadow, we could still actually use a bit of that blue. Just be careful because orange and blue kind of makes green, but it'll be fine. And then we need him to have his scarf. And I think what I want to do is keep his scarf white, I think. But what we'll do is we'll make the actual shadows with our nice turquoise. Now, I'm actually spending quite a long time here colouring these. If you're in a rush for Christmas, then, you know, just do your thing. So I'm just going to blend that to make that look like he's got a bit of movement going on in his scarf. Just a little bit of water. So can you see I'm kind of keeping my brush wet, but it's not wet, it's just kind of like damp. So it'll just help to control the water a bit more. And I want to really get some of that nice dark blue in there. I might actually go, in fact I might just, yeah, let's go give him, I don't like his scarf, it's the same colour as he is. So. But look, we'll keep that shadow. Oh, what's that? Try some liquid soap, reshape the bristles and leave it on overnight. I never thought about that. Right, I'm going to try that tomorrow. Thanks, Elaine. That's a really good tip. I'll let you know next time if it actually worked. I never thought about doing that before. Are you liking the softness of this colouring? It kind of really gives you sort of a different feel, I think. It's very nice and soft. Right, so on his hat then, so I'm going to actually get some water. So there's just water, and I'm just going to put water right in there in the shape of his hat, and we're going to use that same blue. And then this time we're going to just let that flood. So it's kind of nice and soft. And just a little bit more around here. And I just kind of like flood that area, and can you see how I'm just like dabbing it in rather than even brushing it in? And that sometimes just helps it. It's kind of finding its own way, and it gives you, sometimes it can give you a bit of a more natural feel to it, and then you can just blend that out. That's lovely, I like that a lot. And then I think we need to give him we need to do his gloves. We'll do his gloves. Let me think. Let's do his gloves blue dots. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could go on and do blue stripes on his whatchamacallit, on his scarf. Can't think what I'm doing. So with that blue, just one thing, a couple of things I just want to do. So I'm just gonna do a little bit there around his eyes, look, just to do something different. And you see here where his nose is, let's make a little bit of a shadow. Okay, and then we need to get a little bit of a shadow going on over here, just so that his face actually, you know, he actually does look rounded. And the joy of this paper, even though it's not watercolour paper, is that you can still move it around a little bit. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not as movable as watercolour paper where you can come back, you know, a long time later. But it is quite forgiving, and I'm just going to add a little bit more blue under there, just so it looks like it's got an indentation. And then what we're going to do is, I've got a grey here, and I'm just going to go direct on with the grey. We'll just add a few little, just a couple of little shadows. I'm just going to put one there where his mouth is, and we'll have a little one here at the back where his pom-pom is. And let's just put a little bit of shadow there. What time are we on? Gosh. No, have I been an hour already? Nearly 50 minutes, crikey. Okay, I need to crack on. Okay, so that's our little dude. So I'm going to cut him out. You know, I've not even coloured it. Look, I've not coloured his arms in. Let's just... You know what? Time just flies when you're colouring so much. Okay, let's just do that. So I'm just going to cut into this now. So I want the whole of him. I really don't want to spend all day colouring necessarily. So I am going to cut around his... Take the glass off, it's too close. I'm going to cut around his mitten here. And then I'm just going to leave a bit of an edge. Now, in the kit, you actually do get SVGs and DXF files. So if you've got your cutting machines, so Cricut and the Scan and Cut both use SVG files to cut with. To be honest, on the Cricut, I find that I don't even need the SVG file. I find that I've got the Cricut Maker, and I find that it just cuts. It just scans it and cuts. But you do have them in there if you wanted them. So I'm going to cut that down to there, and I'm just gonna. To be honest, these are so easy to cut out that by the time you've faffed about putting it in your machine, you could have done it. Like, look, you know. It's really not difficult to do this amount of cutting. I know people don't like cutting, but it doesn't bother me. I quite enjoy it. So we've got him cut out now. And your DXF file is for your cameo silhouette. So we've got our card here. And now what's going to happen is, because we've got his little mitten here, I'm going to actually position this mitten over the top there, okay? So we're going to actually get that on there. Now, when I come to colour her, obviously I've still got this here. So we need to actually colour that mitten the same and his arm the same. So let's just do that before we forget. Where's my brown gone? Ah. So before we forget, let's just do that. And colour her arms in there whilst we're there. I won't be long, it just I've been faffing around. So get his spotty arm on. We'll get her. Let's do some little blue stars there because I forgot to colour them on the other one, I think. And we'll do her nose. Maybe would recommend doing that last, but anyway, never mind. It'll be okay. If you feel like you're gonna, this is drying quite fast because it's quite warm in here, but right, okay. So in terms of colour, I'm kind of gonna do more or less the same thing again with her. So I'm just gonna add some water around here. So it's going to be exactly the same, more or less. So, but this time I'm going to go in with, actually no, it's not the same. I lie. So this time I'm going to use a lilac. Okay. So this colour is called Pale Violet. And it's just because I want to make her look a little bit different. And I kind of want her to look like she's a lady. So we'll just wet that back around. Maybe went a bit strong on that, but never mind. Just let it dry and it'll go a bit lighter. Remember, with watercolours they always dry lighter. Just need to mix it a little bit on your palette and don't go in quite so strong. Build the colour up. I was a little bit heavy-handed there. And can you see how I'm just colouring around the edges, and that then makes her look like she's round? So it gives you that rounded effect. And I'll just blend that out so I don't get any kind of tide. I don't like it when you get a tide mark, so I'm going to blend that out there. And then again, we'll just put, this time, add a little bit of that violet around her mouth. We'll put a little bit under there, just so she's got a bit of a shadow going on. And just don't go too crazy with it, just be quite gentle with it and you'll get a really nice soft finish. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, and this blue, I'm just going to add that for a little bit of a shadow colour. So just a little bit under there, not too much. Tiny little bit under there, again a tiny little bit of shadow here. And then we're going to actually shape her nose with that violet. And then I'm just going to add, I've got a pink here, which is pale pink. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that. And we're going to just add a little bit into her earmuffs. Not too much. See how pale it is, but look how strong. You know, I'm literally picking up with the tiniest little bit of colour here. And then I'm going to actually colour her cheeks. Now, over the years, you know that I don't actually do that whole, I call it Aunt Sally cheeks. I really hate it. But when it comes to watercolouring, I'm kind of going to, what I'm going to do is I've painted that circle, and then I'm going to go back, wet the whole of the face. So I've got colour there underneath, and then this is the only reason I would do it. You see how that then floods that? But you have to wet the whole of it, otherwise it won't work. And just let that dry. What you need to do though is you need to be careful that it doesn't travel. So I'm going to dry off the rest of it, and that will stop travelling then, because if you're not careful and you don't dry that off, it will, that little blend there will just flood the whole of the face, and you come back half an hour later and she'll have like a huge rosy face. Right, so I missed that off him as well, so I'm going to do it with him as well. So I'm going to wet the whole of his face here, and I'm going to, so if you look, I'm going to draw his cheeks. So I'm going to do like an apple, a circular apple. Okay, I'm then going to blend that so that you don't get that hard edge. I'm going to flood the rest of his face. You can take a little bit, there was a lot of water on there, you can take a little bit off, and then just flood his cheeks. And then again, if it gets too much, if it's gone a little bit too dark, just add a bit more water and then just quickly dab that off again, because you don't want him to have like big Aunt Sally cheeks, because he's a boy. But how cute is that? So you get that really nice soft look. So I'm going to colour her scarf in purple as well. I think we'll give her a stripy scarf. And I'm nearly done actually, so it's not that long. And we'll do her purple, lilac, violet, whatever it's called. We'll give her violet gloves. I would maybe have picked a different colour, but it'll be fine. And again, you can add bit of that blue in, and that blue actually makes it a completely different, it turns it more into like a purpley colour, so it kind of gives you a bit of a difference. It doesn't look all purpley. Do whatever colour you want, as Bob Ross would say. And then I'm going to come back over here, and I think what we'll do is we'll just have quite harsh on that purple, and I've let that dry, so it's kind of hard to then blend it out. So what we'll do is we'll just make her scarf purpley, and then we'll just use that purple to add a shadow in there too. And then she is done. Now all I want to do now, we've got a little bit of snow here, so I'm going to just pick up that little bit of snow in there. Just let me get him out of the way. Now I'm going to get a bigger paintbrush. So look, I've got a much bigger brush. And where we've glued this down, I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't actually glue around the edges. So let me move my palette. So what I'm going to do is just take my brush, and I'm just going to lift that up slightly and just swish my brush underneath. So just lift it up slightly at the edge, just with my nail, and I'm just going to just run my brush underneath. Okay, and I've actually wet that quite nicely. You can tilt it and you'll be able to actually see. Now you need to maybe do it a couple of times, and don't worry about kind of doing too much. I've done it probably not quite a centimetre, and then I'm going to go back to my little fine brush, and I want some more of the blue. So what's it called, that blue? Sapphire blue. I really like that colour, it's lovely. Now I'm going to actually, what you can't see, I'm mixing this on my palette, look. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tilt that again. And I'm going to work from this outside edge, and I'm going to run my brush underneath. And then put a bit of water on. And then spread that out, and look how it's actually colour tinting behind. So twist it round as you're doing it, and then, I mean, it kind of is travelling on its own, but because we're not on watercolour paper or watercolour card, we need to blend this as we go, otherwise it's not going to blend out very well. And also don't over wet it, because you're going to start getting some of that, I call it pilling, you know, where the paper pills off a bit. But it's a really nice way of just being able to add a blend just behind there. We could have done it with ink, but I just thought it was a nice little tip to colour coordinate what have you been doing. And then turn it around, and then just to neaten that up, I'm just going to run my big paintbrush around again and just blend that out. So I've got quite a lot of water on there, and just soften that out. Like I said, don't do it too much, don't over wet it, and keep, well, you can wet it, but don't keep working it too much, because the surface of the paper is going to peel off. So let me grab some. That looks messy on there, but it'll actually dry. It's all just water that's going to dry. So make sure that's clean, and then dab that off, and it'll all dry. And what it also does is it kind of lifts. If you do get a little bit of pilling, like I've just done there, we'll just pull that back a bit. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to grab my stencil again, and this time I'm going to use, I'm going to use the same colour again, so the tumbled glass again. And again, I don't want loads of this on, so just a very small amount. And we're just going to do that edge. and we'll just do a little bit along the top like that, and that looks really cute. If you wanted to, I'll tell you what you could do. This would be really nice actually. So look, that circle we cut out before, you can use that as your mask. So look, let's mask around that. Oh, I should have done that on the other one. I'll have to go back and redo my other card now. Oh, look, how pretty does that look? All these little things that you do as you go along, and it's kind of like all those, you know, kind of like you get the ideas, don't you, as you go in. So I'm just going to use, I've not put any more ink on this, but I just want to blend that a little bit more, just so it's not a harsh edge on there. If you wanted to, you could come in and you could actually do the whole edge if you wanted. And I'd actually be tempted, in fact, I'm going to do it, look. This is what I would be tempted to do. See, this is the thing, I get carried away. You know, because this is the inside of your card, and let's make that look nice as well. So now the inside looks as pretty as the outside. Look at that, looks nice. You could, you know, if you wanted to, you could just kind of blend the edge a little bit more, but I don't want to keep going. Don't want to go too mad. So now we've got our little frosty, whatever he's called. Have you come up with a name yet, you guys? Sorry, I haven't been looking. So I'm just going to blend this bit of snow at the bottom here, just to make that blend in a little bit as well. Now, what I did earlier was I actually cut out, so the same die, I've actually cut out another circle, so exactly the same die, same size, same circle, okay. And what I want is, I want this to be like a little flap. So on the previous one, when I did this, let me show you the previous one. So on the previous one, look, it kind of sits underneath his arm, but it just doesn't quite hold enough. So I've actually pushed him over a bit more this time. You'll see in a second. This should actually hold it a little bit more in place. Let me just put my ink away. So I have this like that, and I'm just going to grab just an embossing tool, and I'm just going to run that down there. I want that edge, and I'm just going to fold that over, and I am just going to use my bone folder on that, just get a nice crisp edge. Now again, you could distress around the edge of this. Do you know what would be nice? Let's make it all match. So this time I'm going to have to go a little bit heavier, I think, on the ink. Yeah. Oh, well, that's going to look lovely. You can see it through there. Oh, I've gone a bit mad, you say now. This is a problem, innit? You go too far. I don't know whether I wanted that. I don't think I like that now. But anyway, never mind. Can I hold that back a bit? It'll be okay. I really preferred it without, but never mind. It's up to you. I prefer it without. I feel like I've ruined it, but I think it's going to be okay. It'll be alright for now. I wouldn't do it again. Right, okay. So I need some good glue. Where's my good glue gone? I think I've left it over on my desk. Let's see if this glue is working now. So I'm going to actually attach this just behind there, make it match up, obviously, because we want it all to be nice and neat at the back. So just a little bit of glue there. I'm going to have to hold this in place. Oh. Right, this isn't going to work, this glue, because it's not going to stay long enough. So just for now, I'm just going to attach that. But obviously, I'm going to re-glue that when I get back to my desk. Oops. So let's just put that in place. You get the picture. Okay, so we've got our little flap, and it opens, and there she is, looking all happy. Hello, she's going hello. Okay, so we're on the home straight. This seems to have taken a really long time. Okay, so I've got some dots here, some 3D dots. I like dimension. It's up to you whether or not you do. It's completely your choice of how you want to do it. I really hope some of you are going to make this card. I love it when you make the cards that we show you. The design, by the way, watch out in the group, because the design team are all starting to share all of their projects with this collection, and you're going to absolutely love it. They're so talented. They just sometimes make me squeal when I see their cards. So I've just cut a little tiny bit off there. So now what we need to do though, look, we need to actually line him up, look, so that he's actually lined up with his I can't really think of the name. The words aren't coming out today. Mitten. Okay, so I'm going to line that up there, on there. Now on this bit, I'm not going to actually put any tape. I'm not going to put any foam under here, because I'm now on a bit of an angle. So what I'm going to do is, this is just a little slight adaptation. I'm going to grab this cardstock. In fact, I'm not going to waste a big bit like that. Oh, it's not big enough. Actually, it is big enough, look. So let's get a bit of scrap. And look, I'd stamped this earlier and made a mess of it, so it is absolutely scrap. I was just thinking if I could do something else with that then. Brain's going over time. Sorry, I was just looking there at that corner there. No, it's too late. Anyway, never mind. So I'm going to just, because he's on an angle there now, I want to bring this down so I can actually cover up. So I'm just literally going to go like that and just bring that down there. Okay, so let's get this glued on. I'm just going to position that before I do another bit. I'm going to not take that all the way down to the bottom. Just leave it there. Just need to be careful of that like little bit there. And I love these dots because look, you can use all the waste. So I'm just going to put that down there in the corner. And then we're just going to trim that off at the back. And because I've like left a little bit of a gap down here, I want to do the same there, just to make sure that it all fits and is symmetrical. And then it looks like it's intentional. And now this little flap sits behind him, look. Now I don't like that there because that's going over. Just bear with me. Oh. Right, hang on. Sorry, just bear with me. I just need to trim this off a little bit. It's just sticking up. There you go. So I just trimmed that off there, look, just so it was sticking up here, and then I also had to trim this off. I actually don't like the angle of that. Let's take that off a bit. There you go, that's better. It sort of follows the circle around a bit. I would make that a bit neater, to be honest. But now that actually sits in there better than it did on the first one. The first one pops out, look. So this one actually, it pops out, but it's actually just looking a little bit better. So the final thing that I need to do is just stamp a sentiment on here. My ink pad. So I'm actually using this stamp set, which has been uber popular. I think this has been our most popular Christmas stamp set this year. So this is Latte Christmas Tweetings, and I just love all these little individual words that you get with this. So I don't want this to be a Christmas card, so I'm going to send it to a friend. And so I've just put wonderful friendships on there, and I just think that's quite a cute little sentiment without actually meaning, you know, obviously it does mean something, but you know what I mean. It's not Christmassy. So I'm just going to stamp that into there. Not that well, but there you go. And there you go. We've got our little card. So let me just zoom that out a little bit more for you, so you can actually see it a bit better. So we've got wonderful friendships, and then it opens up, and underneath there she is having fun, and then you can just stamp whatever you want in there and put your sentiment in. But I think that's really cute, and it has taken me quite a long time. I was a bit laboured over it. I wouldn't put the stenciling around there. I actually think that it looks nicer plain, but that's just my personal preference. But you can see how that one actually sits better behind the mitten than this one does. So just make sure that you've got him going over, far enough over. But you can see how just using those two stencils together, just with that very light touch. But I really love what we did on the inside of this, where we actually kind of carried the snowballs through. I think that's really pretty. It's like having an insert, but not. Right, so that's it. I am done. So let me just go back. Hi, I'm back. So I need to get my glasses on. I can't see what you've all been saying. You could flip to go on the inside if you're not happy. I could have flipped it, I suppose. But anyway, it's fine. I've got another one, so if you remember, I haven't glued that down, so I'm going to actually remake that little circle. So I'll do a different one that I haven't got stenciling on, and that'll be it. So if someone would like this card, if you leave me a comment, I'll send this to somebody. So leave me a comment, and I will just pick a random person to send it to. The other one I need. So I will keep that one. Now, giveaway time. So I promised you a giveaway. So the giveaway is that if you leave me a comment on the video, someone will actually win a £15, which is about $20. I'll make it, it's either £15 or $20, I'll make it, voucher. Does that include me? No, it does not, Lou Sims. No, you know you don't ever get a Christmas card. We don't have enough room. We never have enough time to send each other Christmas cards, Lou Sims. And you've had brownies this week, so I think you've had quite enough. Thank you very much. So leave a comment on the video, and we'll choose a random winner. I won't choose it, someone else will. We'll choose a random winner to win a £15 voucher or a $20 voucher. And that's our Christmas gift to you. You'll be able to spend that on anything you like in the store. And what was the other thing? There's something else I need to tell you. Oh yeah, I've got a really important question for you. Okay, are you listening? This is really important, actually. So I want to know whether you guys prefer this, where you've kind of got a one-on-one with me, and sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Lou's I had to try. Yeah, she's very trying. Yes, she is very trying. Yeah. Anyway, so on a serious level, I want you to all to answer a question for me, please. And this is probably going to apply more to the UK customers who watch us on Hochanda. So I want to know if you prefer to see us on Hochanda, or do you prefer to see us like this? Because we love doing this. I know we haven't particularly done that many of them this year because we've been so busy. But as you can see, we've kind of now got a new studio set up and everything. And I prefer doing this direct to you guys. So I would love to do this at least once a week, if not 2 or 3 times a week. And we're actually working on that right now. So we're actually hoping that in the new year, we can actually do this every other day at least. So I want to know, but something has to give. We can't do everything. You know, we're a small company. We haven't got millions of staff. So I want to know, do you prefer this? And would you prefer for us to keep doing this? Or would you prefer us to be on her chanda? You know, and I think I know what the answer to this is going to be. And I'm not saying it's going to be either one. I just really want to know what your opinion is. Because at the end of the day, this company is all about you. And what we do is always for you and in mind with you. So I want to do what you guys need and what you want and what you prefer. There are numerous reasons around my thought process on this, and we've got a few things that we're kind of going to be doing in the new year that will kind of the answers that you give me will possibly impact on those. So we've got some really exciting things coming up that I can't share with you yet, but it is exciting, and I personally think it'll enable us to kind of bring more releases for you. Like you're all saying, it's more personal. I feel like we get better feedback from you. I can see directly what it is you love, what you don't like so much. You know, we can do requests and all sorts. We'll be able to get Lou involved. You know, I'd love Lou to be able to do a live for you every week as well. So, yeah, sorry, I'm just reading some of the messages. So don't worry about what the outcome is going to be. I just want to know what your thoughts on it are, you know. And by answering this question, I am not saying that we won't be on Her Chanda again. That isn't it at all. I just want to gauge what you guys have to say about the whole thing. So I just want you to be really honest and say, okay, if you prefer it on Her Chanda, that's fine. It can be on Her Chanda. But I kind of want to know. So if you can all just like leave me comments, and then I'll be going through them all and actually reading it, and we'll be having a big discussion. And like I say, it's not the outcome of what you say in these comments isn't the deciding factor at all. I just want to know the opinion, because it's interesting, isn't it? And you know, if you don't always change or you don't ask a question, it's the best way for me to find out what you guys think about things. So anyway, if you haven't, as I said before, if you entered the Karen Markle giveaway and you've not checked the results out, check the result in the group, because the winner has been announced and you have not contacted me yet to claim your Karen markers. So if we do not get a winner, if she doesn't claim, then it will be up for grabs again. So those markers are earmarked there. So there's a time frame for claiming, I think. So yeah. Anyway, just saying. And there was something else I wanted to say. I can't remember. I'm going to leave you the links to you've got the links in the group anyway to the Frosty kit, and you saw everything that we used. So I'm not going to do a Facebook Live next week because obviously it's Christmas. I think everybody's going to be way too busy thinking about Christmas. But I would like to actually do one between Christmas and New Year. So hopefully, I've not decided on the date yet. It depends when I can get out of my pyjamas, I suppose, and roll away from the turkey maybe. But I and S. Oh, hang on. Oh, loose Sims. Is that okay? Listen, you have no idea the trauma I have with these letters, because Mr. Doodles comes in and rearranges them. I have to check them before I go live on air because he writes rude words, and honestly, you can imagine with that word at the top, this word, yeah, that was a rude word earlier. I had to change it. So, yeah. Anyway, say no more. Say no more. I think I did actually straighten them out, but it's obviously gone funny. Yeah. Sorry, totally distracted. Right, anyway, yes. So I will be back between Christmas and New Year sometime. We are still open we're not open every day, but if you are placing orders for anything, then they will be dispatched. But we're definitely in the week in between. I've got so much work to do, lots of designing to do. So we will be around. But I would just want to also take this opportunity to say huge thank you to everyone for all your support this year. It's been a crazy year. We've been very fortunate as a craft business that we have been affected by the pandemic, but in a very positive way. Obviously, we have lots of stockists worldwide, and I think some of those haven't fared quite so well. My voice is going. But I just want to say thank you for all your support and your continued business. It really does mean the world to us. And, you are at the heart of everything that we do. So, any suggestions and stuff like that, we're always willing. We always love it when you actually email us and message us and stuff. And we always take everything on board that you say. So it's amazing. And this is a lovely group. It's growing really fast. If you're new to the group, I really hope that you'll start sharing some of your projects. We all love it as a team. The design team love it when you start sharing all your projects. I know sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming because they all make such pretty things and stuff, but it's there to actually inspire you. And we're making lots of changes on the website as well, so make sure you go on the website. We've kind of got like a new classroom thing going, which is where we're kind of starting to put some projects in there for you that are step by step. We've got like an inspiration gallery. We've got our favourite projects of the week. We've got a lot going on at the moment. And you can win lots of prizes and stuff. So always make sure that you enter and that you kind of comment. All you've got to do is leave a little comment and you can be in with a chance of winning a prize. They're always completely random. And we try and make it really fair so that the same people don't win all the time and everything. So thank you for your business. Everybody have an amazing Christmas and New Year if I don't see you before. Just stay safe. I hope you're all being able to see some of your family at least. I know some of you won't. We're not. We're making the decision not to, for various reasons. But it's okay because we FaceTime, so we're okay. It's not like we have fly. It's not like we haven't seen each other. But I hope you all have an amazing Christmas. So anyway, that's me over and out. I think you've had enough of me. I don't want to bore you anymore. So I'm just kind of like looking at trying to read the comments as you're going. So Merry Christmas, everyone, wherever you are. Love to you all. Stay safe and have a wonderful time. And thank you for joining me today. And I'll be back soon. Okay, bye-bye.